Welcome to another live session at the Blunt Lab. I am Al, joined by my brothers Marcus and Rick. What's going on, fellas?
What up?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on,
That
guys?
song sounds like it could have been on an episode of American Horror Story.
Yeah, got some freak show vibes to it.
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Again, the sad song that we played after the Super Bowl is still my favorite thus far.
I think it was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I remember what it was. I know it.
It was certainly good. It was certainly good. Before we get into things, I just wanted to play a video that kind of entertained me and the wife a little bit. A road clip.
I tagged a bunch in this.
Like, you see the white?
Yeah, you're white.
From what?
Did you just figure out you were white?
No, like the real white. Just like the flashlight.
Well, because you're white, honey.
From what?
Because God made you white.
I feel this.
No, I'm this way.
What are you doing?
Wash the light off.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, bless his heart. And protect him at all costs. He knows the type of friends he gonna have. He must have had another life. It's his winter state. It'll change in the summer. He said, I'm about to be 50 and mine still has not changed. Yeah, he was one of us, definitely. That's Marcus. We rocking with Mark because Mark rocking with us. No, I'm not supposed to be this white. The way he's roasted himself. Woke up was like, no, something ain't right. I'm not supposed to be this way. The white-ups got me screaming. So disappointed. Protect his innocence. Exactly.
Yeah. I kid knows he's white.
Let me. You know what this makes me think of? Al, if you give me 1 sec on this.
Oh, please. By all means, brother.
This is exactly what it clued me into. This is the first time I've seen this video. So when I was younger, like back in the early 80s, the way that like white people that were like built-in racist, but they weren't racist assholes, if you will, right? They're not going to be disrespectful to you just because you're of a different race, but in their mind, you know what they're thinking, right? That kind of thing. Okay, touched on that. There was a word that get used back then. It was colored. You know what I'm talking about, right? So for a long time, like a more proper vernacular than the N-word would be to say that colored person. Well, that eventually became like just as fucking racist, right? Okay, so when my family and I went to live in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands for a year, all right? I was 10, okay? So I was quite young, right? And I got off the plane. We came up. There was this big, because that Rastafarian religion is really big there. Most of the people there are Rastas, okay? So dude was wearing a shirt, and it said, when you're born, you're pink and blue. When you're hot, you're red. When you're cold, you're blue. When you're sick, you're green. And it put all this different shit. And at the bottom it says, and you calling me colored.
That shit.
Like, that's something that's always stuck with me. I remember I was 10, and this video just made me really think about that thought process right there. It had some more on there, some like pretty clever ones, but that was the gist of it. Like,
this is little man started washing, talking about I'm trying to wash the white off.
But hey, the more people that are like born that way, though, again, it's gonna born away racism more and more. You know.
You know what it teaches, or you know what it shows me that like prejudice and racism is taught behavior.
Correct.
No kid comes out hating anything.
100%.
No,
so that's some taught stuff. So shout out to you, little brother. You good, man? You rock.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, hey, I didn't know if again, we don't have Matt. We miss him. Did you guys happen to catch at least highlights of the Gervonta Davis fight last week?
Yeah, I saw the highlights, but I didn't watch the fight.
Yeah, saw the highlights.
So the fight ended in a draw, which is something that happens in boxing when they don't want the main champ to lose his belt or to have a loss on his record. Now, I didn't see the fight. I caught the highlights. You know, sometimes the highlights can be skewed in certain ways. So, I don't know who won the fight. But I do know when you take a knee, regardless of what's going on, taking a knee kind of warrants an 8 count.
Did you see his excuse?
Now, with that being said, the excuse that he did bring up, I can't remember the Puerto Rican girl's name. She's a female fighter. She actually had to cancel a fight because of the same reason.
Mm.
So when you actually see the clip of him taking that knee and then sticking his face out of the ring for his cornerman to wipe his face, I don't think he's lying about that. But like, dude, you could have just ran away instead of taking a knee. Because again, you know, if I'm not mistaken, by rule, if you take a knee, that's considered a knockdown.
Yeah.
The ref
Usually.
actually considered that a knockdown.
But they took it off the judges' card though. They took it off as a knockdown. So I think that's probably more of the controversy involved here at this point.
And then when you hear Gervonta speak after this fight, he's like, he has no intention of giving this dude a rematch.
Oh wow.
No. Now I
Which
couldn't
tells-
see if he like put the stuff on the glove.
Which tells me
That's
this. You got your ass whooped. You feel as though that this man can whoop your ass. You don't want to give him another opportunity. You don't want that L. So you're going to avoid him. So
Yep.
does this mean that he's going to avoid motherfuckers like Shakur Stevenson? Like, these are big fights.
You got to thank Floyd Mayweather for this, bro. Like he started this trend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's just, come on, man. Come on.
There's just too many promotions, man. There's too many belts in boxing. There's too many different promotions. This is like stuff that they can hide behind. Like it should just be one like federation or one boxing commission. Like if you're the champ at this weight, this is your next fight. That's it. Or you forfeit your belt. It's like the UFC has it figured out, you know?
Yeah.
There should be like a restructuring of how sort of it works for when it comes to, because again, it's more than a belt, it's the title. That's the important part. It's the title. In fact, I watched a couple of boxers the other day on a podcast talking about how the belts themselves are kind of a fucking scam. They actually charge the boxers for that shit. They take it out of their purse. 30, 40, 50 stacks sometimes. I'm telling you, bro, like it's like boxing is starting to get exposed. Like it had already started to get exposed. I always bring up the WWE. You know how it sort of started getting exposed, how wrestling was fake, that these guys weren't really, whoever wins or loses was predetermined. Like boxing is starting to get exposed for what it's sort of shady at. And,
yeah,
and that's
they're real obvious about it too. They're
how they're
super
doing
obvious.
with titles and shit is just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The fights they want to make happen. It's not the two boxers that should be fighting for this title, for an example, is very rarely what you see. And it's the same thing in professional sports in general. They want the teams and they want the names on the card that are going to draw the ticket sales. They could give a fuck less who the best person is. It's more about who's going to bring in tickets and sell merch.
Yeah. And at least the UFC is a little less obvious about. They're about the bullshit when it comes to the judges as well, because literally they have boxing judges judging MMA fighting, which is, I mean, you have retired MMA fighters who know the game and who could probably score the game better than these. Yeah, that's neither here nor there. But either way, at least the UFC is a little less obvious than boxing. Boxing just literally shows it in your face.
Yeah, it's been corrupt though.
It's always been corrupt. And a caveat to that, I watched these kind of insider guys, and Dana. It wasn't really like a podcast because it wasn't a setting like that. It was more like an interview, and he was talking about kind of in the future here, we're going to start getting into these interactive events where we'll be judging certain fights. So the watchers will literally in real time be judging the fights. But it won't be every fight, and it won't be the across the board way it's going to get done. It's like an introduction or a beta test for doing that kind of thing. I mean, we've already kind of done it with reality shows and talent shows and stuff. before in the past, as you know.
But
Go ahead.
Here's where that's going to be fucked up. Everybody's a fucking troll.
Oh, of course.
Pardon my French. Because look, let's take it back to American Idol.
Right. It's going to have a beta test to it. That's the whole point. Like
my man, what's his name? Soul Patrol. Let me tell you, Soul Patrol won American Idol probably because of me. I was using 4 phones to vote for that motherfucker.
But so was
everybody
doing that shit.
He had no business winning, but I was like, you know what? Because they don't like this dude, I want him to win. And that's what trolls are going to do when it comes to the fighting.
I mean, if there's a way to vet it, they can do it that way.
I think that's going to be part of it. You know what I mean? Like they'll try it where now this is me going beyond that discussion I saw and putting my own kind of theory thought to it, which is they'll probably do it where it's like popular, where like, you know, it's everybody voting, all that troll shit like you're talking about, the mass voting, all of that, et cetera, whether it's all just like through an app or the phone calls. And then it'll be like on that subscriber level because, you know, they got to make their money too. So then, like you just touched on about vetting it, Marcus, like to that point, right? Where it's more of like subscribers specifically. And then the blue check subscriber, like where it's like, okay, these are guys that are like dojo instructors, you know, fucking black belt and blah, blah, blah. Or somebody who like has this, you know, amateur fighting background or et cetera, like where there's an even higher level of vetting. And then you have, and then they take factor those in with the ring judges too. And then you put all of that together kind of shit. But we're getting to a time of technology where that's absolutely cool. And the best part about that, and I'll end with this, is that it's just like with the WWE and even like professional sports. It makes them learn the algorithm well enough to entertain us to keep us coming back for more. Because it won't get boring that way. The more we're involved, the less boring it'll get.
And as soon as they stop doing these pay-per-views and putting it on Netflix like the WWE, we'll be good to go.
Did you see that that snippet I sent you the other day from? Okay, so that came from one of the MMA digests that I kind of read and peruse. You guys got me more reading deeper since we've been doing Blunt Lab discussions. And I'm telling you right now, it's coming. They're working the deal right now. The deal is getting worked right now. And the same company that owns the WWE owns the UFC. And them and Dana are very close when it comes to like decision making and things like that. And I would not be, I think they're getting their bids, so to speak, right now. Like they're letting Netflix, you know, and NBC and Netflix have a good combination because, you know, NBC is Universal, right? So NBC Universal, they kind of have a big pool. They have a lot of money. So that's probably why Netflix and Peacock are working together on the WWE thing. And who knows, you know, don't be surprised if like when that Peacock contract comes time to renew, if it's all just Netflix.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. It could go away from, but I really doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think NBC Universal is going to keep their contract going because they also, you know, they have the NXT and what's the level below that? Marcus, you may know what's it called. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Evolve, is that it? Evolve?
Yeah. Evolve,
yeah. So Evolve is an even lower thing of that. Like you go to Universal every day. So as long as that is part of that, I think we're going to see that on both platforms. Back to the point of UFC. UFC is in the same house. You know what I'm saying? So they're probably taking offers right now from like your Paramounts and your whoever Hulu's and you know whoever the fuck else ever. But it'll probably wind up being on Netflix. It'll get housed together, and they're gonna fucking kill it. They won't need pay-per-views. They'll get billions of dollars from Netflix.
Dana's been talking to that Middle Eastern fella that's been running the boxing. Excuse me. So they're about to add boxing to their shit too. So
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
like UFC sanctioned boxing.
What?
UFC sanctioned boxing? Like it's part of
the what TKO? What is it called? What's that company called?
Yeah, TKO.
Yeah. So they're taking on boxing as well.
No, they can take over. They can take over boxing. They got the money. They have the pull.
Why not?
They can get all the biggest fighters under one roof. Then you can get all the dream matches you want because
they're starting. They've related to it too, Marcus. They've said it. They've been saying that they're already talking about doing crossovers of UFC and WWE. So if you just throw the boxing into that trifecta right there, fucking A, let's go. I'm about it, bro.
Yeah. It's all about entertainment. Entertainment and money. Those things, yeah, it comes with it.
All right, before I turn it over to you, Marcus, I just wanted to take either a few second or two to R.I.P. Angie Stone.
Bro.
Now, you know what? Let's dive down the conspiracy hole just a little bit.
Let's do it.
Just a little bit.
I'm with you.
Michael Jackson dies. We all know his
Sony and Warner Brothers.
Yeah. We all know they wanted his shit. They wanted Prince's shit. They wanted Whitney's shit. All these motherfuckers that wanted the rights to their shit. Pardon my French, because I'm trying to cut down on the cussing. But all those guys that wanted their stuff ended up dead. I mean, dude, Angie Stone, like, she popped up on my For You feed on TikTok talking about how these people owe her millions.
She was about to go to court. Wasn't she about to go like 2 or 3 days away from going to court for her rights, her publishing and whatnot?
Millions. I mean, like, dude, she should be living. And I mean, dude, if you don't know who Angie Stone is, I urge you to look her up.
Yeah.
Beautiful black queen, beautiful, talented black queen.
Yes,
Rest in peace. Let me tell you.
Yes, sir.
And then she dies in a car accident.
It's convenient. At the very least, it's convenient. But
so let me just say, hey, Diddy, man, my bad. You the man. Clyde Davis, you the man. My bad.
Nah, screw them bozos, man. They know what they do. They know what they do.
Did you already get bread? Because I don't know Al to sell out before he gets paid.
Hey, dude, if I got paid, there'd be signs from all of us.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. I wouldn't outright say it, but you notice the
yeah. You know, I won't say it, but like, damn, like, what the fuck is this dude wearing? I'll be out here looking like Seth Rollins. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man,
like, why is he dressed like this?
But I question it every week, bro. Every week, I'm like, what the hell is Seth wearing today? Like, he's great though, man.
But yeah, rest in peace to Angie. Rest in peace to Angie. That shit's fucked up. It's definitely gonna be, you know, when things, the more things that get disclosed, the more, you know, the more things like that are gonna be obvious. Oprah's next, you know.
Did that happen? What was that last weekend, right? Wasn't it like while we were recording?
I want to say
that night.
Yeah, I want to say yes.
Yeah, it was about a week ago, and yeah,
so talented, man. She's so damn talented. And like you said, with the lawsuit that she had, it was talking like tens of millions of dollars that she's earned but didn't get. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, the conspiracy theory, like, that's enough reasons for it to be questionable to me.
Absolutely.
It sucks though. We can't bring her back. So R.I.P. Angie.
Yeah, rest in peace. And to touch back on the Hackmans, turns out that Gene Hackman was having a heart-related issue. The wife runs to go upstairs to get the pills that they found around her was his heart medication.
Oh,
so they're saying that she was suffering from something else, and I guess in the panic with what was going on with him, whatever health situation she had going on caused her to die as well. Because they were thinking she might have fell and hit her head, but apparently it's all natural. Nothing to be, well, so they say.
Would you say somebody hit her head?
They were thinking that she might have hit her head, but they're saying, I forget what the condition that she had. I should have wrote it down, but they're saying it was natural. She might have been in a panic with homeboy because, you know, I forget the heart condition he had, but for the most part, he had also.
It was a week later when he didn't die for another week.
Yeah,
And then you have like a monitor.
because he was waiting on her to come back with the medication, and the dog was in the
something-
kennel. What was
Yeah.
that, Marcus?
For
Well, he had something with his heart, didn't he? Like some
Mhm.
kind of monitor or something in there. They were able to pinpoint like when it last was operating.
So he literally was waiting on her,
Yeah.
pardon me, to come back with the meds, but whatever she had going on health-wise caused her to die in the bathroom.
So the one dog that passed, you said it was in a kennel, or it wasn't
Yeah.
being fed. Okay, and the
Yeah.
other two were like in and out.
Outside,
So
yeah.
they were okay.
it would take a lot longer than a week. This is bullshit.
2 weeks, they said that their bodies were,
Jeez.
not discovered. And what kills me is this, like granted, right now, I'm not talking to my pops, but I talk to my moms. So there will never be a situation to where it'll be 2 weeks that I don't talk to my moms. That's just,
You know, 2 days is weird.
Yeah.
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 If a few days if a few days goes by, she's calling me up talking about what the F is wrong with you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's
So, like,
Oh no,
You
the
know,
exact
so-
words are like, "Are you mad at me?"
Yeah. What's wrong? What's going
her
on?
exact words is, "You want me to choke you, mother effer?"
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But like,
But that's the way
there's
it
no,
should be, though.
yeah,
It's like, how do you
there's
go 2-3 weeks without speaking to loved ones? Like, I mean, there's people like I don't talk to on a regular, like have my siblings, but like after a little while, we're gonna check in on each other at the very least,
Yeah.
unless you see this person. It's like I don't know, peace of mind, you know.
I don't talk to my sisters enough, but for the most part, that's exactly correct. Like my boys, same thing. Like our circle, our cycle. If I don't hear or see from you, I'm gonna be tripping. Like we all have our
Yeah.
little group chats. If,
Yeah.
if it was like I that's one thing that for our generation I really like appreciate with the new technology life is that like it's a way that even though it's not in person, we're involved with each other every day
Mm-hmm.
in a facet. You know, we get to say the things that we're expressing in our part of shit when it's the convenient time to do it.
Yeah.
But we all, for the most part, everybody that you see on the Blunt Lab, we all chat with each other every day in one form, facet, or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Staying
mean?
connected. You gotta stay
Absolutely.
That's what it's
connected.
all about. You got to stay close to your people. So yeah, that 2 week shit and all of this, I don't know. Something about it is sus as fuck. Maybe it's nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a weird situation.
Let's hope it is. And before I do turn it over to you, Marcus,
Mm.
did you guys watch Daredevil?
Yeah.
I have not watched the first 2 episodes yet, but I am
Oh,
well versed in
so-
you guys talking about it. It's okay.
I saw
my
it in the
bad,
chat.
Rick.
Oh,
My bad, Rick. My
no.
bad, Rick.
Oh,
My
I'm gonna
bad,
wait
Rick.
till it's okay. I'm gonna wait till the end of the season to watch the whole thing anyway, and I'll forget everything that you're talking about.
Man,
It comes out every Tuesday. It's on Disney.
it starts so
I,
rough though. Jesus.
Look,
I didn't
I
see
don't
that.
want to give this. Yeah, this is the only spoiler I'm going to give away. So if you're listening live and you haven't watched the show, this is the only spoiler I'm going to give. So if you don't want to listen, walk away. Really, dude? Foggy?
R.I.P. Fog, man. Fog,
Bro.
man.
Like, I'm 2 minutes into the show
Yeah.
and, I'm already crying. Like,
I
come
had to
on,
take
man.
it back, bro. I had to rewind it because I was like, that didn't just happen. I'm like,
Pimping.
no, this is crazy. What?
To watch Homegirl who plays Karen and then watch my man Daredevil, like, yo, dude, he tossed my man off the roof.
Yeah, I love
That
that.
is not.
I
I
love
loved
that.
it too because my man went Punisher. He literally
Yeah.
turned into Punisher for that split second.
Mhm. You know, there's one
acting.
thing though, like I noticed, and I feel like it's my fault to a degree. I thought that this was like a completely fresh like reboot, but
Nope.
after he was in She-Hulk and Kingpin was in Hawkeye and whatnot, it's like they kind of continued it from the Netflix ones, and that's my bad because I haven't seen the end of season 3, so I was like, oh shit, okay, so I'm gonna have to go back and like watch it. Yeah.
Have you seen Defenders?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen Defenders, so yeah, you need to wrap up season 3, which will lead into this. I mean, of course, there are other characters that are no longer there because of what happened in season 3, but like truthfully, they were There was no need for a reboot. Netflix did a phenomenal job with that Daredevil series. They did a great job with everything in that series.
Yeah.
Disney taking it on and keeping what they've done,
Best
and
decision
just
they made.
best decision they've ever made.
Mhm.
Best decision they've ever made. Because you're the only one that's seen the new Captain America. So,
Yeah.
in your personal opinion, with the things that Marvel is doing, do you think they're coming back?
Definitely. I'll say this about that. Captain America 4 is going to get flack, whatever people say what they want. I feel like that's one Marvel movie that's going to age better than it did in its time. Like, I feel like going back in a couple of years watching it, people are going to appreciate it a little bit more. If nothing off the strength of Mackey's acting and like him and Falcon. And like I said, it was kind of a Hulk story with Captain America in it. I get it, but it still made sense, his involvement. But the reason I say I think they're back, bro, with Doomsday and Secret Wars, those are going to be bigger than Endgame and Infinity War. Like the amount of story that they can tell in that, and you have all your characters. You have the X-Men. You can bring back all the old characters. You can do variants of different characters. Like I feel like they're going to be all right. You know, they've had some misses, but then again, it's like it's hard to tell. Like people will shit on certain movies, but then you watch them and you're like, that wasn't that bad. Like, okay, The Eternals wasn't great. I'll say that. That was not a good one.
It wasn't.
Shang-Chi was really good though.
Shang-Chi was great.
Was really, yeah.
That's a very good origin movie.
Yeah, like Ant-Man 3 wasn't great, but
No.
Deadpool
Because
Wolverine
Ant-Man
was
3,
great.
but remember with Ant-Man 3, some of the Thor movies, I think
Mhm.
even the Doctor Strange, you
Yeah,
were getting directors who didn't care about the comics,
that's true.
who knew nothing about the comics. So
That's
they're basically were pushing their own agenda in these movies,
Mhm.
which again we didn't really
Which is-
need.
But I enjoyed Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Like I enjoyed that movie. I think Sam Raimi is awesome. Like he did the original Spider-Man trilogy. You know, what's the one? Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. Like he's great, and I felt like they should have maybe leaned into the horror a little bit more. But
Oh,
I
Evil
enjoyed
Dead,
It
you mean?
was. It
Evil
was
Dead,
Evil Dead. Evil Dead.
Yeah.
But Dawn of the Dead is whatever. So I kind of play with that. But yeah, the Evil Dead stuff. But the Sam Raimi version of that's what made that movie a little bit different. It's not on the same level with the rest of the comic book movies because it had that little touch of Evil Dead in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
But
campiness to it, which I don't mind, but again, you were still getting directors and
yeah,
people who didn't know anything about the comics, so you
you
weren't
can tell.
getting, yeah,
You can tell the people that are doing Daredevil, they watch, or they read the comics, and like they're staying as true to it as they possibly can. So I think like Marvel's gonna be cool, especially if they were doing too much at one point. Like right after the pandemic, it was like movie, show. It's like
hmm
slowing it down, putting more time and effort into each project, less projects. Like I think they're gonna be all right. Yeah, it should be a big
dude.
year
If,
for them.
if you're not watching Daredevil, I urge you
Mm-hmm.
to catch the first 3 seasons. Not with the way these seasons kind of work out. I think Marvel has a timeline set up for you on Disney.
Yeah.
Because you got to watch Jessica Jones, you got to watch Luke Cage, you got to watch
Iron
Defenders for an Iron Fist as well for all this to tie in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think those other shows are going to get continuations.
No, I think Punisher is getting like I think
Yeah,
it's
He's the
getting a
only one.
with
special
Barenthal.
presentation. You know how they did like the Guardians holiday special and Wolf by Night. Like I think they're gonna
Mhm.
do like an hour 15 like special presentation for the Punisher. He's supposed to be back in Daredevil too at some point.
Yeah,
Like that's all.
he'll
That's
be.
not a rumor. Like that's not like a
Yeah,
spoiler.
it's
That's
confirmed.
out
It's
there.
confirmed. Barenthal is going to be in Daredevil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's fucking
he'll be
great
in
too.
there.
He is great as the Punisher.
D'Onofrio, I got to tell you, him as the Kingpin,
Love that character, bro. Love that character.
A1, man.
him
A1,
as the
bro.
Kingpin. Yeah, he's great. And dude, I love his wife.
Yeah,
Right.
she's gangster.
Yeah, she not only is she gangster, man, for her age, she's a hottie. And you might remember her in what's that, Angel and Demons, the Da Vinci Code with Tom Hanks. She was in that.
Yeah, part
She
two.
was one of, she was the scientist.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a scientist. Yeah, she's great on that show, bro. I love the way
Yeah,
she
she is.
handles D'Onofrio.
No, Hugh.
Huey.
No. Why though?
Hugh, I will say this. The one thing I hate about D'Onofrio's version of the Kingpin is the voice thing. Like, look, Christian Bale with the voice thing with Batman, D'Onofrio. Like, come on, man. It's a little too much, okay? Rachel. Like, come on.
They know. They just don't care.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Exactly. The voice thing is the only thing I hate. But everything else, the voice thing and the fact that he doesn't have that, like, I know they're playing off that, he's healed up from getting shot in the fucking face. So, he's thinned up. But the Kingpin, he's got that big muscle gut. He's a big boy.
Is he human? As much as I know about comics, I've always wondered, like, because he is, isn't he? But he just has.
He's ridiculously strong.
That's it.
I don't remember.
And really durable, because
Yeah.
Echo shot him in the face, and he walked away from it. Like,
I mean, he had to rehab and come back. But
yeah.
No, it's not. It's not his real voice.
On a voice. Yeah, he's putting on
incredible.
He literally is doing the Christian Bale thing.
Yeah, I mean, like he's putting that voice on. That's not him, and he's been around a long time.
Yeah,
incredible actor.
Mm-hmm. And he has range. He has range. The voice thing is the only thing I have a problem with.
Yeah, that's
to the point where it makes me laugh instead of take. It makes me laugh, and I'm like, all right, sometimes I can't take this dude seriously.
He can just switch it up. Use his regular voice. I mean, maybe he's just trying to be menacing or like come off like dangerous. But it's like,
hey, he's putting work into the character. He's trying.
Yeah,
I'll give him that. But he's a man.
Aesthetically, aesthetic, that's perfect though. Even without the big round gut, like just like his imposing size and everything, like. And he does come off like really like, I don't want to say like scary, but he does have that presence though. Like when he's around in the scene, it's like, man, we watched what he did in the original Daredevil. Like we saw how brutal this dude was. That's like in a second he can go there.
Like Rick, the way he crushed his skull was like Game of Thrones style. Like granted, my man just squeezed my man's head and popped it like a pimple.
Yeah,
but Kingpin, the way he crushed this dude's skull, I was like, oof. I was like, man. Sheesh. I'm like, I hope nobody ever makes me that mad because that scene plays in my mind and it might play out in real life. So, like, let's not play games.
And he can get to that point in a second, like in a heartbeat. He's right there. And then he'll go back to being normal, political, whatever kind of guy.
He shows you his vulnerable side with his wife. You see how, I mean, what man isn't vulnerable with the wife and the woman that he loves? So he plays that up very well. Very, very. And dude, our girl who plays Jessica in True Blood, she plays Karen on this show.
Yeah.
I always forget her real name. She's a smoke show too.
Deborah Ann Wool?
Yes. You're right. There it is.
She's great.
She is great on this show. Like, again, the pain on her face, and even though Daredevil is wearing a mask himself, the pain that he, like, dude, great effing job.
You mentioned it earlier with him tossing Bullseye off that roof. Like he let his intrusive thoughts win. He was like, "You done killed Foggy, cool," and just. I knew he wasn't dead though. I was like, "I'll kill Bullseye like that."
He's not superhuman either. So how the hell do you survive a freaking fall like that? Was he wearing armor?
They said, and see, this is what I don't know about the original season 3. They said like he had some kind of Like Kingpin, remember he had him in the suit. He had him in the Daredevil suit,
Mm-hmm.
doing all this wild stuff to like discredit the character. But it's saying like he had some kind of surgery that put like titanium, or maybe it'll end up being like adamantium or something in his skeleton or in his back or something. So like
Really?
he could survive something like that. Yeah. Because I don't know, like in another one in the comics, I don't know that he's like straight human. I feel like he has some kind of like super ability. But
Yeah, I don't know much about Bullseye, except that he's supposed to be a
He-
dead shot.
and he looks cool. Like I hope he gets his actual suit in this. Oh, and speaking of that, Daredevil suit looks really cool too.
Yes,
I
it
like the
does.
red.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does. So again, that's Daredevil on Disney. I guess it should be on Hulu too, right? Since they're connected.
Probably so.
Either way, it's on Disney. Either way, check it out. First 2 episodes every Tuesday.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
definitely be chatting about it. Hey, I want to turn it over to you, brother Marcus. I know you had a
All right.
question for the boys.
I did.
And Hugh, feel free to participate, Hugh.
It's like it sucks that Matt's not here. We miss you, brother.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be next week. But in light of how the Lakers have been looking, switching to basketball, sorry. In light of how the Lakers have been looking, how they're trending, I question, is Luka the most talented player that LeBron's ever played with? I can't say accomplished because, D Wade, AD, these guys have won titles with him, scoring titles, all that nonsense. But is Luka the most talented or the best player that LeBron's ever had to play with? And does this make LeBron his sidekick? What do you guys think?
Well, LeBron is everybody's sidekick. Right? I wouldn't. LeBron has never been a front runner on any motherfucker. You know what? I'm trying to stop cursing. He's never been a front runner on any team. Okay. I don't care how washed up people say D Wade was when he joined Miami. Guess what? LeBron went to Miami to be with D Wade because he knew he could win with D Wade along with Chris Bosh. I don't care if his knees were hurt. Guess what? D Wade was still the man in Miami.
No.
LeBron, he was Batman. LeBron was Robin. And I mean like baby Robin. Okay? Every team that LeBron's been on, he's been a side bitch.
Jeez Louise.
Period. Now, is Luka the best teammate? Is Luka the most talented player he's ever played with? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's, again, like you said, he's not accomplished. But when you look at what the man, that's guys like Kyrie, which, oh God, man, I hope you get better, dude.
Oh,
that was ugly.
He's done for the season again.
Yeah, he's done. And
Shout out
I mean,
to
like,
man.
Clay asked for a trade yesterday.
But yeah, Luka he's the man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't Hugh, to your point, Hugh, he's definitely gonna. I think what you're gonna see that looks like revenge mode is gonna be him getting in shape, like it's already happening. Like it's already happening where he's training with different trainers now. He's gonna.
LeBron's talking to him because
absolutely.
I give LeBron this. He's the Tom Brady of the NBA. He is the Tom Brady of the NBA.
If Bron is, if anything else, the best physical specimen to ever be in the NBA at this level. Right?
He still doesn't wow me, but
that doesn't. It goes back to the whole that's what I mean. Like you should be scoring 100 points by yourself every night. But never mind that. We're not talking about that. Point being is, with LeBron to take him under his wing on terms of getting healthy, and kind of how to train your body in the off season. You know what I mean? He's gonna get that LA mentality when he gets out there. He's single. You know what I mean? It's all about how LA affects him, Luka's legacy. But at this point in the league, this age level, especially, and even at their peaks, he has not played with anyone on the level of Luka. And here's going to be my caveat to this. If the Lakers go deep in the playoffs, or God fucking forbid they win a chip, everyone's going to say, well, you needed Luka.
Of course you needed Luka. I'm going to say it right now.
It'll be Luka's. I I feel like if they were to win, it would be Luka's title, and LeBron would just be.
But LeBron's
The
still
hell?
putting up
Got
good
five.
numbers. Let me
Yeah.
throw out what
Yeah,
Matt
yeah,
would say right now. But again, I'm gonna say what Matt would say. What are you talking about? Luka's putting up good numbers, yeah. LeBron's putting up good numbers too. Still at 40. And he's right. But he gets to kind of say what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, let's just be honest. So and especially if they do get deep into the playoffs, it's going to be running more through Luka because he'll be more in there. It's going to be Luka's team.
Pretty much. I mean, at this point, I already think it's Luka's team.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it should be though. Like, I think that was the whole knock on AD. Like, all these years, it should have been AD's team and LeBron being like falling back somewhat. So that kind of looked like that's on AD a little bit, and he got hurt too. Like, I just
thing with AD could never stay healthy. AD could never stay healthy.
Like, what is Dallas's mindset when it comes to this outside of the money? Like, they may be trying to move the team to Vegas, whatnot. It's like you guys are just completely sabotage your franchise. Like,
I feel bad for Kyrie.
Oh my goodness!
I feel bad for Clay.
Sign up for that. Like Kyrie and Clay, they didn't sign up to be
a loser.
This is, yeah. And I love AD. It's not like AD's not good. It's just like he's got injury issues, and this is just the New Orleans situation all over again, where he's gonna have to put the team on his back, and out west, like that's not good enough, And then you just powered the Lakers up, giving them a 25-year-old, 5-time All-NBA player that hasn't even hit his peak.
Who's the Lakers' big man?
Rui?
Should be LeBron.
One of them. Yeah, LeBron was playing some 5 the other night. Rui, Jackson Hayes.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that are like sweeping in the 4 and the 5. They're gonna go to like a mid-sized team. They won't have anybody small on the court, but they're not gonna have anybody too big either right now. Now it depends on how it lines up for the playoffs. When they get close to the end, don't be surprised if you see them pick somebody up on a 10-day or kind of a rest of the year deal to fill in the big man spot if they're going to go deep in the playoffs, which it looks like they're gonna. They're flying up. But really, honestly, at the end of the day, buckets and Steph right now, that they look just as good.
That's true.
They're playing really well together, and that right there has longevity. The Lakers situation, I don't see LeBron. That's not longevity. That's them rebuilding around Luka.
So I want to ask you guys this. They've been focusing on the Lakers because of Luka. They've been focusing on Golden State because of Steph and Jimmy buckets. But from what I hear, Cleveland and OKC are the teams to beat.
Cleveland has the best record in the league, both conferences. Cleveland is the best team in the league right now, and they have not slowed down. They haven't come off the gas pedal since the beginning of the season, and we're getting. April. The end of April is playoffs, right? Mid-April. So we're getting there. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Cleveland hasn't come off the pedal, and Oklahoma is the best team in the West. But again, those two teams are playing exactly what they've been playing since day one. You know what I mean? Outside of a couple of little tweaks and injuries, they're doing what they've been doing since Jump Street. Number one, the reason that I think the league forced the league and Dallas wanting to move to Vegas, I think has everything to do with it. Everybody's been talking shit about the NBA since the beginning of the season. The ratings are down like 0.5%. 50% of what they were last year.
The WNBA is doing better than the NBA.
Exactly. So, and that said, I think that moving Luka to LA and giving the Warriors back a chance, because that's the two most popular teams in terms of ticket sales, ticket prices, and merchandise sales. So those three things right there were driving the league in this, and that's why I think it's above the owners' heads. So I think this was. I think Dallas played into what the league wanted to do, and who knows, maybe one day something will come out, some dossier or fucking documentary or some bullshit will tell us exactly what went down with all this shit. But this was definitely a play to get the NBA interesting again. And guess what? It fucking worked.
That Nico Harris or
Yeah,
whoever
Nico
it was.
Harrison. He's
He-
the
he-
GM for Dallas. Yeah.
Oh, so he didn't get fired? He didn't get fired?
Oh, I don't know.
Not
He,
yet.
okay.
he did what the owners told him to do, bro. He ain't gonna get
Every-
fired for that.
Nah, he probably will. Maybe next year he'll just be the scapegoat. Like they'll just be
Yeah.
like, "Well, he was rogue. He did what he wanted." About the question with OKC and Cleveland, I think Cleveland is a real contender. I think Oklahoma is too, but the fact that they're so young and they haven't like had any playoff experience together, like that's gonna make people be like, "Well, they play the Lakers, they play Golden State." You know, my thing is Oklahoma has everything you need to win. They have shooting. They have defense, they have size, they have ball handlers, like they have everything, but experience.
Yep, they just need a little bit of time. Like if they stay
Cleveland-
healthy and stay cored, like to your point, Marcus, next year they're going to be a real threat.
Oh yeah.
If you think they're bad now, wait till next year.
Now,
The
guess
Cavs,
who's
I feel
not?
like the Cavs are set. I feel like the Cavs, this is the year. This is it. This is time.
Yeah, they own the East right now. Period.
Yeah, everything is in place for them. Just like Oklahoma, and they have experience.
And they got to
worry
worry
about
about a little bit.
better in the playoffs.
They got a little bit of Boston, a little bit of New York, maybe Orlando, but outside of that,
I guess
Yeah.
who's not in a good place?
Yeah. Who?
The Orlando effing Magic.
Well,
Just literally, I mean, how do you lose 2 games to Toronto, who's not even in playoff contention? Then you go and lose to the Bulls.
Oh,
Now
that's
you're
not
at an 8th. You're in 9th, so you're not even going to be in the playoffs. So here's what makes me laugh, because I didn't know if either of you were gonna bring this up. You have your superstar's mom. Now, granted, we all know that it's coming from the superstar, but it's the mom putting it out on her account. But it's Pablo Banchero's words. He has beef with the coach. We all know what happens when the superstar has beef with the coach.
Yep, here we go.
Jamal's gone. I personally think Jamal's gone.
I think he's a good coach, though.
Is he? Because I'm hearing some of these losses are because of some of the decisions he's made.
But did you see? I'm sorry.
Again,
did
I'm
y'all
not
see
I'm
the
not
stat?
watching. I'm just going by the reports that I'm hearing.
Like, did y'all see that stat of like when Paolo plays or when he doesn't? Like they're a winning team when he don't play, and they're like way under 500 when he plays. Like it could be some coaching. Like the East is better. Paolo
We've been
did
hurt,
miss a
though.
bunch of time. Yeah, and Prime
We've
missed
been
a bunch of
hurt.
time.
Like
Yeah,
they're just
Again,
getting
I'm
back
sorry.
to playing again. The problem with the coaching that you mentioned there is that he has really great schemes. Like he has a really good playbook, but he doesn't got nuts. So like if that makes sense. Like when it's time to like go at the throat, he comes off the gas pedal.
Because I heard
That's
these
what I've
last few
noticed
games
in
we
what I've-
lost were like by 1 point. And again,
Yeah.
Toronto's not a playoff contention team. So those are games that at this time of the year you need to win.
Golden State only beat us by 5, and Steph had to score 53 and break a
Yeah.
fucking record in order, you know what I mean? Break the 3-point record again.
And another thing, I have a problem with the Magic. Like last year and this year, you allow the trade deadline to go by, and you make no significant moves.
They're not spending
None
money
whatsoever.
They're not spending money to win the championship, Al, right now.
And they've got picks too. They got picks. They got young talent.
And Jalen's done.
Oh yeah, Jalen Suggs is hurt.
So like we honestly going to the playoffs just hurts our draft pick at this point.
Yeah.
If I'm being real.
You know what?
Because
I'll say
because
this,
none of
bro.
those four teams are going to beat the West team anyway.
As
Maybe
a Miami
Cleveland.
Heat fan, I hope the bottom falls out, bro. Because we're not
I hope
going nowhere anyway.
I hope Pat just fucking gets out of operations.
He needs to retire.
That's what needs to happen. Whether he retires or he goes into the office like on the board, but doesn't have like say in like in operations. He's not in any way having say with the players anymore. I think that's done. It's established now. He's poisoned a lot of players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. One thing.
No. Go ahead. Do your thing.
This draft, Cooper Flag from Duke. Bro, he's not going to be like a Wemby, not going to get that kind of hype, but he's going to be a player in the league. If he's healthy, he's going to be good.
Before we move on, you mentioned Wemby. Deep vein thrombosis. I don't know if you guys know how serious that is.
No, that's real deal shit right there. That's bad.
Yeah.
I hope he's
Yeah,
all right, man. Jeez,
you know,
Will he play
Frenchie or
again?
not.
Maybe. But if he doesn't, I wouldn't be shocked because that's one of those.
That blood clot has to break up.
Yeah.
Once that's fully broken up, he's going to have to be on blood thinners for the rest of his life. 2, you probably don't want to take too many spills. You might not want to. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that's what retired Chris Bosh, ain't it? Blood clots.
You know what? I can't remember.
And Bosh wasn't old. You remember?
No,
He had shit, but it was like leukemia. It's not leukemia. Hang on, I'll pull it up. Just so we're not misquoting. But go ahead. Oh.
But man, I hope he's good. Hope he's all right.
He's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year this year, man. Been an all first, even all defense. Probably been all NBA, third team or something like.
And now he might not ever play again. No.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Actually, there's a thing here about the difference between the blood clots that Victor had versus what Chris had.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wemby. That's rough. I hope he's
so
all right.
what Victor had is known as DVT. Okay. So back to what you were saying. Now, it's something that, so that's what you use blood thinning medication for, right? When Chris left, it was a little bit different. He was having a reoccurrence of blood clot. So it's not quite the same thing as like location. But it's still a DVT type of diagnosis. So simply put, with Chris, he was making them go away and then they would come back. So if that's the same thing with Vic, I hope he takes care of himself and stays healthy.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah, if you're listening, please remember to hit that like button. That way YouTube knows
yes, sir.
that you guys are enjoying the show. Rick, man, I want to flip it on over to you, buddy. I know you and Marcus are a little anxious. We're a little antsy in your pantsy to discuss this. And look, before you even get into it, brother, I just want to tell you and Marcus straight up, I hate both your faces because I'm starting to enjoy these events a little bit.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Hey, I'm gonna get you an American Nightmare T-shirt for your birthday, bro.
Oh,
that's get you a Cody Rhodes T-shirt. I need you to wear it on
you know what? I will wear it on this show. I will wear it on this show. But I just wanted to start off before you go. I enjoyed the show. But go ahead, Rick. Go ahead, do your thing, Pippin.
Well, that's kind of why I think, like, to your point on we're getting excited and in the anticipation and how it's going. Because again, I can't stress this enough. As a man who doesn't have a lot of guilty pleasures, wrestling has been a guilty pleasure of mine since I was knee high to a fucking grasshopper. You know what I mean?
Like Twilight is for me. But go ahead.
Right. Very much. Exactly. And in the same way, you don't give a fuck what people think about you and your like for it. That's how I feel about wrestling. When someone's like, "Oh, it's fake. Oh, that's stupid. Oh, it's gay, homosexual, whatever." They do those references a lot too. I'm like, "This are all the chicks at the strip club." But I digress. Wrestling is back to a peak. Am I lying here, Marcus? Everything in this universe that sort of has any substance kind of goes through this motion, and we're back at one of these. The last time was probably the Attitude Era. Before that, at least for the WWF, was back when it was the 80s heyday. And I think we're back at one of those peaks. It goes without saying. I think we touched on it earlier in the show when we just talked about the TKO having the company, the Rock, and these other Hollywood thinking motherfuckers are in there instead of Vince and the good old boy club and their racist, sexist, raping asses. So I think we're getting a different product now.
Yeah.
And although it's still carrying a lot of the traditional stuff in terms of the theatrics and the soap opera element of it, that's what we're here for, baby.
That's it.
So I'm glad I can't bet on it and winners and losers and all that. To the what we're here to talk about tonight, guys, is the Elimination Chamber, which was just probably one of the better events in quite some time.
Yes, sir.
If I'm not mistaken, I think
And it wasn't too long either. It was like
No.
short and sweet.
I think there was 5 or 6 matches.
Mhm.
I figure we touch on them. Real quick with you guys, and I know we're getting lower on out of time, but
No, do your thing, brother. Do your thing. We can go.
the first thing is the women's elimination match.
Yeah.
Now I know you both watched it. One of
My
the
bad.
things that we talk about most in the group chats, right, is like we're
Mhm.
watching the women's match, and we're
All
all
that
we're
booty.
all that
That
booty.
booty.
Did you happen to see that part where I think it was Bianca pulled Liz draws over to the side and shit, almost showed out the cookies. That was a pretty
Now,
insane moment. But what I wanted to throw at you, Al, so you can make your point, is in the beginning, Jade came back.
No.
woo-wee. And I loved her outfit. You know what? She just needs to change her name to Storm because that's what she reminds me of.
She is the
Right?
storm. She's the storm, bro. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
she came in like a tornado. Like, dude, you know me. I don't really watch it the way you guys do. I just watch these events that you guys ask me to. And again, I
Not all we
enjoyed this
watch.
one a lot. Bro, first off, I thought she was going to beat up the white girl.
That's
By
what
the
everybody.
by the look on the white girl's face, she's like, "Oh shit."
Well, she was being falsely accused in those weeks in between since the attack.
Okay.
Okay,
I
And
knew it was gonna be Naomi.
but it's
and
gonna
she
turn out to
starts
be
whooping her ass,
bro.
Yeah,
Slammed her
dude.
fucking head in the gate. Chick's still wearing the fucking neck brace.
Hey,
But
pimping. Some of
That
that shit
pump
look
kick.
real, man. Hey, some of that shit
That
look.
pump kick into the chamber, that was insane, bro. I was like, God.
listen,
Almost kicked her
that's
through
the
it.
point. They're getting hardcore the fuck about it. It's getting more entertaining in that way, and the women are getting way better at their wrestling abilities.
Yeah.
Like,
Now,
let's
I don't
just
want to
face it.
fast forward too far, but my homegirl with the long ponytail,
Bianca, yeah,
Bianca.
she whooped the pretty little white girl.
Liv.
Oh, that
And-
whip. Oh,
And
my
bro,
goodness.
not only did you hear it, but was she really cut and bleeding from that?
Yeah, days. Like you can see it still. It's like on her Instagram and everything.
Mm-hmm. No. That's a
I'm
weapon,
telling
bro.
you, they are hardcore as fuck now. And the girls especially, because like they're on a different level. They have to be good at the acting part. They have to be relatively attractive if they're not huge. Like, because the big girls, they have a different role in it. They have to be like relatively attractive, and they have to be good at the wrestling part of it. Now we've seen some bad matches. The last that last chamber match that we watched with the girls, and it was what was it?
That was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad with the chair
Oh,
shots.
War Games?
War games, yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad. But this elimination chamber match was amazing for the girls.
Yeah.
I think, and to end our last little part on that, I think it's going to turn out that Bianca was the one who influenced Naomi to go, and that's going to be the long picture on this storyline. But
Well, I'm going to tell you, man, that
and then
whip.
she came out on SmackDown when this chick come back out on SmackDown. Bianca came out with her, like stood out there and waited for her, and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." So Jade and Bianca came out together on SmackDown afterwards.
Well, hey, man, some of that stuff looked really real, looked really hateful, especially like the way she whipped her. Now, look, I don't want to take anybody back to the olden days, but
it was just Black History Month. It was like the day after Black History Month.
It was like she was getting some get back for her people.
Like it felt like a little bit of that, bro. That shit was so loud.
And she was holding where she got hit the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, because that shit hurt, bro. That shit hurt. It hurt. I was like, yo, that shit looked really real. I'm like,
Bianca does that. She's done that to a few other ones. Like she did that to Sasha Banks.
Had a full ash across her belly, and that shit was still there for days and days after.
Now, I want to ask you guys this: does it make me a pervert?
No.
That I'm waiting for a wardrobe malfunction when the ladies are fighting?
It happens. It happens.
Dude, I'm like, you know what? The pantyhose are ripping in the wrong places. You know.
Yes.
Hughes, for you guys listening, Hugh said yes.
Yes. That was awesome.
I'm like, you know what? That pantyhose hole is in the wrong place. You know what I mean? You ripped it in the wrong spot.
I mean, their gear
Which are-
is like, I don't want to say it's provocative, but it's like
They know what they
gear
come
is-
on. They're out there
yeah,
in lingerie, bro. It's
it's
lingerie,
essential.
But you know, they wear like an under thing, right?
which is
It
cheating
cleans
for
it
me.
up.
Just take that off.
Yeah.
We're on Netflix. Take it off. I want to see some pink parts. Shows the baloney. Shows the baloney.
It's getting there, bro. I can't think that it's too far. I don't think it's too far. I think it's gonna happen.
But don't be surprised if you see it get a little more provocative. Also, something that we'll touch on when we talk about the last match is the language. They broke some firsts onto WWE on that night.
Yeah.
So after the women's chamber match, shout out to Bianca. She's gonna
She's the winner.
she's gonna get another championship shot. I think
Mhm.
she's won it 3 or 4 times now. So she's solidifying herself as a Hall of Famer at this point, and
Yes,
she has
sir.
incredible athletic talent. She's
Yeah.
got good screen charisma. Not very wordy. She's probably a little nervous in that department when it comes to like talking in the promos. But otherwise, she's a top notch wrestler.
Yeah.
I look forward to using her.
Super
in,
athletic, dude. Super athletic.
Yeah.
Quick promo here for WWE 2K25.
Mhm.
The official launch date is the 14th. But if you do pre-order, you've been able to play since midnight last night, and I do have it completely downloaded. It's
Nice.
pretty fucking dope. The pre-order, if you get the what they call the Bloodline edition, it pretty much will give you every character fucking possible, including building in all of these different like storylines that have actually occurred over the years, and you can go in and like play it in the way that you wanted it to work out. And I'm talking like Yokozuna, Haiku, all these guys from way back, all the way into these new guys today, the Usos and Roman Reigns, etc. It's pretty
That's
cool.
dope.
You can go and affect it. It's also the first time that they're introducing the island, which if you're familiar with NBA 2K, 2Ks over the last 5 or 6 years now, they have this sort of like online interactive place that you go in. So you go in as your created wrestler, and you can go in there. It's like 50 people per board, if I'm not mistaken, and go in there and engage in that online sort of way. You and your boys can go in there and have tag team 4-on-4 matches, everything with other people online. I think they've really stepped it up a notch with the game. So I'm looking forward to reviewing that. So on to the next match. I'm pretty sure after that match was, let me just look at the results again real quick. But yeah, it was, let's touch on it. It was Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus against Nia Jax and Candice. And that was one of those matches where I bet you were being a pervert, Al, because Trish was looking good. You know what I mean? Like,
here's the thing, though.
She's almost 50. She's
she had her
49 years
kids.
old, bro.
She had her kids out in the audience.
Yeah.
So she wasn't showing skin.
Not nearly as much as she was.
If you're not going to show me, we can see your shape. Yeah.
But the cameraman got some good looks at Tiffany.
Good shots of that
gonna
booty.
Get right out there. That he was up in that booty snatch the whole time. Again, going back to that's how you know they got those nude under things that they're wearing and shit, because you would have seen pink on that. No lies.
we would have seen that baloney.
Which that was a fun match. Obviously, it was kind of just like a more of an exhibition thing. The match that they had after that was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Only a good wife is watching it with you.
If my wife is just as perverted when she's watching her Magic Mike,
no, geez.
her Ryan Gosling.
Thank you.
I mean, she's just as big as a pervert as I am. Okay?
Owens, even though he's got that froggy voice.
She definitely knows. She laughs too, but she loves it. She loves it. But yeah, Trish wasn't showing enough skin. Her partner was. Well, at least the chesticles.
Yeah, Tiffany. Tiffany is not it's definitely like diva level, but still very athletic. Like she's on that real. She doesn't look like a man. like a lot of
that's where I was gonna ask you. Doesn't she kind of look like Dolph Lundgren in Rocky IV?
Absolutely. I'm not saying she doesn't have a strong jawline, but she doesn't look as like she's not built like a man. She's built like a woman.
I'd have to scary movie her ass and just put the bag on top and rock out. But
But yeah, that match was like a good exhibition match. Showed off the women. It was fun. And again, like it was another one of those like you watch it for the perv. Those are the matches that I anticipate will start to get a little more risque. We're gonna see more of that again. I think we're gonna get a lot of that lingerie match stuff, things they used to do back in the day. Thank you, Netflix.
yes, sir.
Kevin Owens is Zayn now. So remember now, this took place in Canada. This was an event in Canada, and this was an unsanctioned match, right? Okay, an unsanctioned match. All right. So that the premise behind that is they just brought in a referee, an MMA referee, nonetheless, right? So it wasn't a WWE guy, playing the whole game. They bring him in. His only job is to say, "Yep, he pinned him. Yep, he's submitting." That's his only job. Right?
Bro.
Otherwise, this is an unsanctioned match. And, they pulled out nonstops. A lot of people are arguing online. They had a chair at one point that was wrapped in barbed wire. And they didn't wrap the whole chair in barbed wire. They took the metal chair and they wrapped the back and the bottom, and they also wrapped the seat. So it still opened and closed and shit. And at one point, he was whacking them. There's a lot of people online debating whether or not that was really barbed wire, that it was actually like plastic. Like that's fake plastic barbed wire. There was a little bit of blood involved in the match.
Did you see the dude's back? That shit looked real.
Yeah, he got some hits on his back. There was definitely some cuts, but
I'm surprised Kevin is alive. First and foremost.
Oh yeah,
that's his name, right? Because I thought he died. I thought he died on the ladder. I thought he was dead.
When he was folded up in the ladder, that was an amazing match, bro.
That really was.
This was a violent match.
This was a very violent match. And that's how it got built up. It was like a revenge match, that kind of shit. But did you see in the end there, and this is the point that I really want to point out. By the way, Kevin Owens did win that match. He defeated Sammy. And did you see what happened right after that? Our man, the Viper, returned. Because, Randy Orton has been injured, and that was at the hands of Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, like, they're playing this shtick right now where the pile driver has been banned, all right? Because a lot of dudes have gotten hurt, necks broke, et cetera, et cetera. So it's been a banned move for a long time. Well, one of Kevin Owens' main moves now is this package pile driver, where he does a pile driver, but before he doesn't just pick you up by the waist and then sit down onto the head kind of thing. He puts his like a pedigree. He puts his hand, the arm under the arm like this, then grabs the waist, picks him up, and pile drives him. So you don't even have any hands to like block it. So they made a big deal out of this shit. And Randy Orton came back, and I thought he was dead after that. I thought Randy was about to kill this motherfucker, but all the rest jumped in there. So the Viper's back with a vengeance. It looks like he's going to take kind of I don't think he'll be able to be a heel, but he's not going to be like a nice guy right now. So I anticipate the Randy Orton storyline is going to get really good off of that. What did you think of that, Marcus, to come back there?
Oh, I agree. Like Randy coming back with their history, and he was about to punt Kevin. And I feel like he's going to punt him at WrestleMania. Like I think that's the play here. Because bro, I don't remember Rick. I don't know if you remember. He punted John Cena's dad back in the day. He punted Vince. Like, he was punting everybody.
That's what he does. Like, did you see what he said? Did you see what he said the other night afterwards? Did you see the promo he cut? He said, "I'm about to be the second best punter behind Pat." Or no, Pat McAfee. McAfee is about to be second. He's about to be the second best punter around here. Oh yeah, like he cut a good promo on that shit. It was good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that punt's coming though. It's gonna be glorious too.
Yeah,
Kevin Owens, he earned it, man. He's been going crazy for the last like 6 months. Package pile driving people. Like he was trying to kill Sammy. Like he already won the match. What are you gonna pile drive him on the concrete for? Like what's that gonna do? You already won, bro.
Weren't they boys? Like we're boys?
They are boys. They are boys. So listen, just so you know, Al, I don't know how much you know about like the mechanics of professional wrestling. But the guys that are like tag team partners typically really don't like each other that much. The guys that you're watching going through feuds together for long periods of time, they're traveling together. They're the bestest of friends. They're
Mhm.
working together. You
I hear
understand?
about that because Russ on the Monsters talks about it all the time.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Like usually
Those
when
guys
you're
come
watching
in.
guys have feuds, those guys are boys. That's the
Mhm.
whole
Mhm.
point to all of that. So when it comes, so that again to the big picture, right? It allows them to have this nice feud later that they're able to use. They can play it back and forth, and that's what's 100% going on with the Sammy and Kev thing. I think they were trying to transition. I think that Sammy thing is to get that storyline. And Marcus, correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think they wanted to go ahead and end that storyline and bring Randy back because it was time for
Yeah.
Randy to come back and start the feud with Kevin Owens and Randy because Kevin
Yeah.
Owens put Randy out.
Yep,
Mm.
I agree.
So they
Very
sent
good.
Kevin Owens that way, and Sammy is probably going to get involved in another one of these. Like, because let's face it, Sammy's pretty much a jobber. He's an amazing athlete, but he's pretty much a jobber.
He loses all
Right.
the time, man.
Yeah, that his job is to go out there and help people get over, right? But the crowd still likes him. They'll
Yeah.
chant for him and play along with him and stuff.
After that beating, he shouldn't even be alive. Like, granted, Kevin Owens shouldn't be alive, but after that beating Sammy took, like, damn, bro.
Sammy got to sit down for a couple of weeks, man. We won't see Sammy until like around WrestleMania, like a week or two before.
We ain't gonna see Sammy for 2 years.
No, he'll get back into the swing of something in a lower card run. You know, back in that Intercontinental U.S. heavyweight, maybe a tag team scenario.
Yeah.
I doubt, if we see him at WrestleMania, it probably won't be anything significant.
No.
I don't like I say, I think they were ending that storyline with Sammy and Kevin Owens. And if anything, you may see him get like maybe back involved with Jay and stuff because they're boys. And Jay's still on the singles run and needs friends. So that's where you'll see him pop in and out probably is helping people out, being involved in a larger manned event, like your Royal Rumbles and things like that.
Yeah.
I think he's spaced out. Elimination Chamber didn't actually have a lot of matches because, both of the Elimination Chamber matches were considerably long and had a lot of like extra to them, right? So after the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn thing, and they got them all broke up from Orton about to kill that kid, they're saving that punt for a better night, probably WrestleMania. We had the men's Elimination Chamber match. Now, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Logan, fucking the Maverick Paul, everybody's favorite heel, Seth freaking Rollins, CM Punk, and of course our man John Cena, who gave himself the spot. He came out a couple of weeks ago and said, "I earned this shit. I get a spot. Y'all are giving it to me." They gave it to him. That was one indicator to me. I kind of saw what was going to come and happen.
Yep.
There was a couple of little hints throughout the month leading up to it. But again, going back to it, man, I'm the first thing I'm going to say about this match, Logan Paul. I think he did an amazing job spending years making us hate his fucking guts for real. And now he's 100% being the consummate businessman, just like his brother, and using that to his advantage at the WWE. And he is by far and away the best heel in the business right now.
And look,
there isn't a better heel.
Despite what the personal shit outside of whatever he does, like the dude's talented, man.
Yeah.
Like the dude's talented. Like I can't stand
really
Jake
good.
Paul. I'm never gonna say he's talented, but like Logan Paul is talented. And he's fun to watch. He's fun to watch. I love watching these guys beat his ass.
Right.
But then I love when he gets his get back too. 'Cause I mean, who wants to lose to Logan? And then when you get pinned by this bastard, you're like, mother.
Like that frog splash off the top of the cage. I was like, that's impressive.
He went up on top of the pod, bro.
Yeah.
He went up off the top of the pod. And listen, he may not wrestle during the week. He may not be grinding it, and I get why the wrestlers don't like that, et cetera, et cetera. He didn't put in the work. Okay, I smell what you're cooking, but it's not like the guy hasn't been training and isn't in shape. And that's what I'm getting at. Like on the level talent-wise, he deserves to be there. I'm not in that business, So I could understand how, like, if somebody came into my business and you just got here, you shouldn't be in the same spot where I grind it out. So taking all of that out of the picture, just based on talent and his gimmick, he deserves to be where he's at.
Facts.
Now, the guys I have beef with is like, okay, why are you bringing Travis Scott? Like, what use is this?
I'm gonna get into
What
that.
use is that?
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
But for the
Definitely.
match's sake of it all, Logan Paul, you know, he took out Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's cool. And the way that he did what he did when he was in the ring, but the way he got the crowd engagement, I'm like, this guy, man, like he's getting better and better every event. For the promo side of it, like
he's fun to watch. I can't say it enough. He's fun to watch.
Fucking
super talented, man. Super talented.
Now
Can't take it away from him.
So I guess the other highlight to this at all is CM Punk. Not too long after he knocked Logan out, got Logan out. He knocked out Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they've been building up CM Punk and Seth Rollins' fight for WrestleMania, I think, from Jump Street. That's how I knew neither one of them were going to win the Chamber last night, because I had a feeling that that's how it was going to go down. Now, did you see how when John Cena saw CM Punk kind of get rocked by Seth Rollins, he came over there and pulled him real fast and pinned him up real quick. And I'm like, you know, John Cena for these last few weeks would have just helped him up and said, okay, let's get it on for the last round. And I was like, yo, something's going on. Something's going on. So, you know, as you guys know, spoiler alert, Cena gets the win. Slides CM Punk over, gets the win. And now, the important part to all of this, the betrayal, right? The betrayal isn't what John Cena did. All right. It's that John Cena turned heel. Now, for you guys listening, if you're not wrestling fans, for 20 years, when John first came into the WWE, he was this Iceman persona, and then he turned into this Boston rapper guy, and he was a little bit of a heel when he was doing this Dr. Thugonomics shit. But then they made him a face. And multiple times in those 20 years, he went to Vince and said, let me do the heel thing. Let me do the heel thing. And Vince wouldn't let him do it. He said, you sell too much merchandise. You're the face. You're the face. You're the face. You're the face. So the backlash from the last week since this event, listen, this guy has the Guinness Book of World Records by more than double of the next person for Make-A-Wishes.
Yeah.
He has over 700 Make-A-Wishes. These kids there's videos everywhere, all over the internet. And these kids like burning their shit, throwing his fucking characters and his around and shit. Like
panic attacks. All of it. Yeah, man.
You know, so besides the betrayal itself, John Cena betraying the business, betraying the fans, right? Because that betrayal, right? Setting up the match for him and Cody, right? So here we go.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, just roll it, Micah, and we'll talk about it. The first F-bomb gets dropped.
I loved it. Oh.
What the boss God? What the Cena with?
I will say this though, you know, I gotta tell my boy Cena, you need to hit up that tanning salon and go to the beach, dog.
Everything he's accomplished in his career. Cody could have had it all. This isn't worth it. None of it's worth it.
Now, something that didn't show there is Travis slapping him.
Yeah, that shit looked real too. Like, come on, man.
I think he actually hurt him, man.
That face, that shit you see on Cena's eye that you're about to see on this next clip, and the red that's all through here, and it bursted his eardrum. So they told Travis, make it look good. And I seen the video of like when Travis gets back to the back again, and he's back there with The Rock, and he's back there with Triple H, and they're all talking about what happened and shit. And he told him, yeah, I get it. Travis like, that's higher than he's like, low key, that's higher than I ever felt while doing a performance. Like, this video is out there. That's higher than I've ever been at any performance. And I want to do it. I want to do it. So I think they're setting up. Travis Scott's going to get fucked up in the ring. But
he is.
The whole time, and something that quick clip didn't really show and all of that, is the whole time that all of the talking was going on, Travis Scott was over there burning sage and like wrapping it around it.
Mhm.
And then he was doing some chanting shit, and then he went over there and said shit in Cody's ear before he smacked him across his shit. And like that shit was kind of fucked up, bro.
Now let me ask you this question, because I know you're familiar with rituals, and
Of course.
how much is this make pretend showing us what they do in real life?
Listen, man, that's our conversation we've been having around here about it. And so if you really want to look at it, you watch Rock come out in the press conference afterward and make real light of all this. That I want your soul, and I'm collecting
blood
souls and the blood thing and putting it on the. Listen, man, I think the whole coming on there onto the press conference afterwards was to like say that's all work. But there could be real shit going on with all that. And to bring Travis Scott out
he's
there,
got the devil's face like on the back of his shit.
bro,
Literally.
always has. And Travis Scott, like the whole taking people to the other side at his concerts and people dying at his concerts and all of that shit. Like, this is real Hollywood spin on this shit. Like, the WWE has found a way to incorporate all of it and make.
And that's where I drew a smile. That's where watching this, I want your soul shit, all that shit going on in the ring. And I was like, look at these motherfuckers, just like, come on, just throwing it in our face.
That was crazy, man. Seeing John Cena all these years and he's the bad guy. I think he's gonna get boos, man. Like, I actually think I think it's gonna succeed.
The only way it warrants him is title shot.
Yeah. And it shows, like, it makes sense. Like Rick, what you were saying at the presser at Royal Rumble, he just declared for the chamber, choking out Punk after he just got stomped into the ground. Like, he's acting like a heel, but he's acting desperate. This is last year, bro. He's been on 16 titles for like 12 years or something. Like, he's like, I'm talking like WrestleMania, like 2010, 2011. He won his last title. Like, he's feeling like, I got to get this done. That's my last 8 months to do it.
And Ric Flair.
Yeah. Ric Flair then came out and said he's going to do whatever it takes to stop it.
He's like,
are you serious?
Oh, yeah, because this is Ric Flair's record that he's going to fuck up if he wins.
Ric Flair.
There's a bunch of shit brewing behind it. That's what I mean. Like, they're doing a great job with it. And they keep hinting around about Steve is going to help.
Oh.
So, bro,
that glass breaks at Mania.
Ric Flair,
hold on.
Out, that glass.
You talking about Steve Austin?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh shit!
If that glass breaks at WrestleMania, bro, I'm going to lose my mind. He coming out to hit Rock with a stunner, hit Cena with a stunner. Oh man!
If that Stone Cold song comes on, it's going to be the equivalent of when the Undertaker's song came on. Was it WrestleMania? Whatever it was.
Yeah,
WrestleMania. Last WrestleMania. Yeah.
My wife lost her shit when she heard the Undertaker song. If I hear Stone Cold song come on, I'm gonna lose my shit.
And Cody don't got nobody to help him right now. They're building that up. They're building all that up. It's gonna be like Flair and fucking Stone Cold are the only ones there to help Cody.
Before we go, I gotta ask: do they pay the people that are getting abused extra money for the abuse?
You mean jobbers?
No, I mean like the white girl that took the whip, it was bleeding. Cody, that beating, hey man, there's no faking.
No.
Unless that belt is styrofoam.
See, Al, you're getting it now. You're getting it now. Like, this is what Marcus and I argue back at you guys when you talk about the fake thing. Because we're like, okay, there's validity in calling it fake because the outcomes and there's script writing and writers involved. And who wins and loses. Okay, I accept that. But that's actually a good thing because it keeps us engaged in the storyline. Because if you just go over who's the best fighter, that's always not what's most entertaining. So reeling back to, right, the other part of it is you're starting to see the part of it is real. Like watching these guys go through way more than an MMA fighter or a boxer. Like,
dude, what's his name? Zane's back. That beating he took, like pimping. There's and see that's the thing with white people. You get to see the abuse. You know what I'm saying?
It shows up.
And
I
now,
mean,
oh no, and that's the thing, man. Like that Travis
not
Scott.
fully. I only watched the main events. I won't
I don't
waste my
think that-
time with the rest.
Like I don't think that was in the script, bro. Like I don't think that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think he was supposed to hit Cody like that. Cause that was insane. I mean, watching it like live, and I was like, it looked like he really hit him.
Dude,
Even Cena kind of
See
looked
how
like, what the
knowing
hell
that
was
it's not real Marcus, though, it's making you question it all? That means they're doing their fucking job.
That's true.
bro, when homegirl whipped her, and
Oh yeah, that was legit.
they played it back, I was like,
Mhm.
ooh. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I'm like, she looked mad doing that. And The Rock,
Yeah.
he made a comment. He was like something about if you don't say yes or say no, you'll be, another dream will die.
The dream will die.
Again.
Talking
Yeah.
about his
And
dad.
I'm like, damn,
He put his
motherfucker.
daddy's death date on there.
Yeah, that was his death date on the belt, bro. Yeah,
That date on the belt under Cody's name is his dad's death date. That's Dustin Rhodes' death date.
Now again, Rick, you're familiar with rituals.
I'm telling you.
You're familiar with rituals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching this stuff. I'm looking at Travis Scott. I'm watching what The Rock is doing. And look, Cody was, that was real blood. I don't know if he cut himself to do it like they do,
They
but
cut themselves a lot, absolutely. But who knows? That shit could have been the belt really going across his head.
Pimp. If you're gonna hit me with the belt like that, there better be a couple of hundred G's up in there because, again, I don't play very well when it comes to being hit. You hit me for real, we fighting.
I feel like with like belt shots, I've noticed. I feel like the way that they hold it,
they
it's
rim
almost
off.
like it's almost like I'm just like going across to make it, make the impact.
Again,
that Travis Scott shit was bull.
Yeah, no, that was different.
Bull.
No, you heard that slap. You heard that slap. You saw it. I mean, and you could even see Cody's face after the slap.
Oh yeah,
and his
100%.
facial expression.
On SmackDown last night, his
Mike,
whole eyes busted.
Roll the clip. You can see it when you show Cody right here in this clip. This is him on SmackDown last night. Kind of responding.
That's nonsense, man.
In this room tonight. I don't know if you know this story. You might have heard it from me in an interview at some point in the past. This was the one place that my old man was afraid to perform in. He even one time painted his face like the Road Warrior so that he knew he was cool, so that you knew you could cheer for him. I never shared that same fear because for reasons unknown, one time, mustache on my face, climbing a ladder for the Money in the Bank briefcase. For reasons unknown, you cheered for me, you chose me, you saddled up and you rode with me.
Yes, sir.
I never forgot it. And then last year, WrestleMania 40, just across the street, trying to finish a story that started in the late 70s. You cheered for me. You chose me again.
It sounds like a Southern Baptist preacher, I swear to God.
He does.
That black ass part of that Hollywood ritual, just so y'all know.
Absolutely.
Speaking of WrestleMania 40, you can watch it back and you can turn the audio up. My old friend John Cena in the ring celebrating with my friends and my family. He looked at me, he pointed at the title, and I will never forget what he said. He said, "It gets heavier every day."
Like the cross of Jesus. I'm not going to let that go.
Well, John, here I am holding this championship. It is not heavy enough. Here I am holding this championship as I have done for the last 300 and something days. John, I know you're watching. I know that you think that your successor had to look like you, had to talk like you, had to be like you, had to live like you. Well, the next one doesn't look like the last one, John, and you are convinced that you are the last of your kind. You are not. I am standing right here. I am holding this above my head as if it weighs nothing. And at WrestleMania 41, I will do the same. John Cena, clearly you want some. Come and get some.
No, that's right, Cody.
Oh, snap.
I know that's right, Cody.
Mm.
I'm telling you,
Well.
he need, like Rick, like you said, that glass breaks. He needs friends. That's what, and it's in Vegas. That's where Austin lives in Nevada. Like it
I'm
makes
telling
perfect
you.
sense.
It's going
Perfect
down.
sense. Because if that don't happen,
Yeah.
Cody's gonna lose, bro. He's gonna lose.
Well.
He don't get some help, he gonna lose, man.
And I'm sure
The
over
Rock-
the next couple of weeks, we're going to get some more people on the Rock's side. They keep hinting about who it's going to be, but you see how he's doing. Like it started with 3 when he did and then it went to 2 because Cena was that one. And then he's I'm telling you, it's going to be maybe a Seth Rollins because they keep hinting like that might happen. Maybe even one of the chicks, his old lady, Becky. Like, I don't know.
You know, another person like sneaky that could be one to help Cody. It might be Roman, because this might be like Roman might look at this as like try to buy souls and like, what about the family? What about what we're doing? You know, and that's the match anyway. Roman and Rock, that needs to happen.
Trying to set up the Roman and Rock thing before. I accept your theory, Marcus, because they kept trying to kind of set that up, and the timing wasn't right yet. But I don't see Roman necessarily putting his nose in there just yet because he wants the title. So
that's true.
So it's not going to benefit him to team up with Cody right now.
That's true.
He needs a lackey
unless he just wants to take it from Cody. Whoever, like, if Cena does win it, there's a bunch of people. Yeah, there's a bunch of people we can go with, like Roman, him and Orton, him and CM Punk, like historic matches that have happened before. There's a whole lot to do with Cena as a bad guy champion. Like, I can see it.
And I think
unless that glass breaks.
Yeah, unless that glass breaks, I'm telling you, it's going to. I don't think they're going to take the belt from Cody yet. If I'm keeping it real, I'll give more of an updated opinion on that after watching. Then because same thing. I only watched it. They're not called pay-per-views anymore. Going back to what we talked about with UFC, they're called PLEs now, and they'll refer them to this and everything. It's called a PLE. It's a premium live event. That's what they're calling them now. Okay, so the premium live events are your WrestleManias, your Royal Rumbles, your Elimination Chambers, Survivor Series, etc. Okay, so right now we're about to get no more premium live events until WrestleMania, which is in April.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are going to happen between now and then on the associated shows, and I just kind of highlight those as well. Except for, and quick shout out, I watched my first live Raw on Monday night, and like for a decade and a half, maybe, like for real, because of what happened at Elimination Chamber on Monday. I was like, yo, I want to watch what happens tonight. I didn't want to wait and have it spoiled for me. So shout out to the WWE, shout out to Sports Entertainment for stepping up their game, UFC 2 for that matter, trying to make things more entertaining. We got some really good UFC events coming up too over the next couple of months.
UFC events, we got boxing events coming up, so yeah, there's plenty of matches. There'll be plenty, but hey,
Alex defending his belt tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, but it's midnight our time, I think, or 11 o'clock.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're listening, if you're listening live, remember to set your clocks tonight. They move forward. Again, I repeat, they move forward.
And if them boys in DC get their way about it, it will not move back. Again, they will.
I hope it doesn't, because this is some bullshit. But if you're not listening, it's too late for you. You missed out. Again, hope you guys enjoyed the show. We appreciate you. Hey, Hugh, I speak for everybody from the show.
Yes.
We appreciate, and we got nothing but love for you, man.
Love the engagement.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
Enjoy your summer with your championship and all that.
Yeah. Because it's going to be short-lived after this draft.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be short-lived because the Giants are winning the Super Bowl this year. I said it. But that's what I'm talking about, dog. That's what I'm talking about. But thank you for joining us.
Love you guys.
Signing off. We are Rick, Marcus, and Al. Peace.